Trap more gang. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be sort of low-key correcting the record on a couple of things, but also low-key deep diving a couple of things related to the murder of THF Bayzoo. Now, obviously, everybody has been trying to get to the bottom of this situation ever since Bayzoo passed away. You know, he was a legendary figure in the Chicago streets. He was definitely somebody who was feared in the Chicago streets. I did a whole documentary about his crew, THF, the Trigger Happy Family, everything that had gone down surrounding him. His name had come up in 3 different murder cases in Chicago, but he was really kind of like an elder. I don't know if I want to say OG. He was definitely maybe an unk when it came to kind of, you know, this older generation of Chicago drill. And there's been a whole bunch of theories as to exactly who might have been involved, whether this murder had something to do with Lil Sam and the stolen watches. His crew seemed to be at war with THF over these watches that got stolen. You know, Zay famously said 2 watches got took, 5 people lost their lives. And basically, as soon as Bayzoo died, everybody was trying to work out who was responsible. And there was a name that came up immediately, okay, and this name was Lil Sam. Now, we have actually now got an interview with Lil Sam, okay, and shout out to Corporate Cartel Media. He is definitely at the forefront of just kind of keeping track of everything that's going on in the Chicago streets at the moment. And there's been, you know, it's been a little bit of a drought for Chicago interview content. You know, we've had we've had DJU hasn't uploaded for a few months. I'm hearing that, you know, he's you know, had a child and he's, you know, on his fatherhood right now. And so we've got all these other platforms that are kind of popping up, you know, getting busy and interviewing people that are connected to all of the crazy stuff that's going on in Chicago right now. And Corporate Cartel Media, I feel like nobody's quite got their finger on the pulse like Corporate Cartel Media right now, man. So shout out to them, okay? And just to give you guys a little bit of a quick refresher, okay? So basically what ended up happening, right, is as soon as THF Bayzoo passed away, this image was going around, right? We saw this picture of BVC Lil Sam. He essentially was wearing the very same gray Nike Tech tracksuit that, you know, the alleged, or, you know, well, not even alleged, but clearly the shooter of Bayzoo, one of the shooters of Bayzoo from the surveillance footage, was wearing a gray Nike Tech tracksuit, or certainly a tracksuit looking like a Nike Tech tracksuit with some white sneaks. It looked very similar. It looked very damning. And then there was another clip that was going around that seemed to depict him kind of celebrating, counting a bunch of cash, and just, it was a bad look, to be honest with you guys. It was actually really, a bad look. Okay. Now, this outfit, obviously, just to keep it real with you guys, okay, this is a pretty played out outfit in Chicago drill, or even just the streets in general, okay? Gray Nike Tech tracksuit, okay? Basically, a lot of people have been wearing this, okay? Lil Sam and a BVC member named Vaughn, we've both seen wearing the same outfit, all right? And I'm not trying to say that just having this outfit, I'm not going to lie, I don't have the gray Nike Tech tracksuit, but I've got like 7 different colors, okay? I bought a bunch of them for the Central C video. I had a few of them already. I got the baby blue that I bought for the Abracadabra interview. If you know the Trap Law, you'll know, all right? Do your homework on Trap Law Ross going to the hood in London and interviewing a street rapper called Abracadabra in that tracksuit, all right? Actually, no, I interviewed Abracadabra, who was wearing that tracksuit. Then when I interviewed his young G's, I then went back to the block in the same tracksuit that Abracadabra was wearing, if you know the law. Anyway, that's besides the point, okay? Because what we really care about is this clip here, right? And basically, we're finally kind of seeing, okay, people kind of break down and get to the bottom of exactly what was going on and why everybody thought that Lil Sam was the one who shot Bayzoo, right? So I just showed you all of those pictures. You've seen the side-by-side with the surveillance footage of the Bayzoo hit going down. You've seen him popping out in the gray Nike Tech tracksuit immediately after. Now, look, here's the funny thing. It does almost seem like these guys put on those tracksuits to basically taunt and make fun of Bayzoo. I don't know whether they ran out and bought grey tracksuits while they were on vacation to quickly rub salt in the wounds, to do a little viral moment. If that's what they did, it definitely worked because they had people like me making videos about it. But we're now seeing these posts going around on Chiracology, and people are basically digging deep and basically saying, okay, basically saying he wasn't even in Chicago at the time, okay? They definitely made this clip. They definitely popped out in the tracksuits at the right time to get the right kind of clout. But basically, everybody is kind of trying to get to the bottom of this. And, you know, it seems like they they definitely can't have been the shooters. So let me read you this and then I'll show you the whole clip. It says, nothing incriminating was said. I did get in a couple of minutes too late, but who knows what they were talking about prior unless someone has the full live. By the looks of the live, Lil Sam is out of town, and he's making that quite clear by showing the landscape. Also talking about getting some blue bottles. I don't know what that means, but it seems like they're celebrating and going somewhere to celebrate. Right? So they're clearly celebrating the death of Bayzoo, but they're out of town in an exotic location, so they can't have personally been involved, right? It says the member that he's talking to mentions going somewhere as if they're celebrating. Murder from BVC comments that he's going to book something, maybe a plane ticket to go and join Lil Sam. This video could mean nothing, but I thought I'd post it as it could be something relevant, as it was right after Zoo was shot and they were all posting man from BVC. Take it what it is. I'm not claiming that they did anything, okay? So let's take a look at this live, because basically it seems like they definitely were celebrating and wanted it to look like they were involved, but actually by the facts and the locations and the geography, it's looking like that actually is an impossibility at this stage. So let's watch this whole 4-minute segment. I'll pause it and I'll let you know if I see anything interesting. We can just kind of analyze this one together. All right. Let me get a nice frame up for you. I ain't gonna lie, I'm eating melon right now.
Hell no. Folks say he out there with the blue bombs. I'm on my way now, though.
Let's go.
Hey, Lil Willie talking about y'all let Dank brother back on the block. Call Glow Dank brother.
Look, boy, that's where it's at right there.
You know that.
Now look, I'm no GeoGuessr expert, but that definitely ain't Chicago. That ain't looking like Chicago to me. Obviously, he's smoking the blunt. He's, you know, putting that in the camera. They're rubbing it in. They're rubbing it in THF's face, right? They're celebrating the Bayzoo hit. That's just happened. They've all gone live and they're all laughing. They're in exotic locations, and it's just, I see what they're doing.
Check it out. There's a last. Hello. Fuck, what, dog? Pocket full of blue bombers in the hill somewhere. Yeah.
Hell no.
Pulling up that thing. Now bring them this way. Bring them upstairs.
That's a nice chain, man. That's a super nice chain.
Hey, Vaughn, I'm finna show y'all this weed or this shit perfect. You know what this is, don't you? Hold on. Well, you know what this is, don't you?
So
Well,
look,
you know what that
he's
is,
showing the
don't you?
pack. All right, he's showing the pack. Okay, and I'm probably gonna have to blur this, all right? So it is what it is. But he's showing the pack. He's basically saying, you know what this is? I think you know what I mean? He's referring to Bayzoo. He's saying he's smoking Bayzoo. He's saying that Bayzoo has been turned into a pack. I don't condone this type of language. We're not celebrating it. But that's clearly what's going on, right? Just as a forensic analysis of what's going on in this video, they're making a mockery of Bayzoo.
What the fuck are they talking about? You gotta bet some shit. How y'all covered? Why you talking behind a fake page? Hey, murder, that's where they out hoeing that right there. Man, that shit just flew on my face. That's that cotton and shit.
So people are commenting, you ain't finna be coming back home. You know, Murder is saying, I'm gonna book my thing. I'm gonna come out of town. We're gonna go celebrate. And he's saying, you know, you guys wouldn't say this to my face. You're hiding behind, you know, these faceless pages on Instagram dissing me. But what he's doing is diabolical. He's dissing a man that just died. He's saying he got turned into marijuana, man.
Get your fat ass on my page, cocksucker ass bitch. Get your cocksucker ass on my page, bitch. Have it on my page, so I'm just showing y'all how a motherfucker living. Show y'all how a motherfucker living. You can do your homework. It's gonna be hard to see where I'm at. It's gonna be hard to figure it out.
So he's clearly not in his city, right? Because you wouldn't drop your low and be this reckless in your own city in Chicago with all this going on. And he's saying it's going to be hard for you to even figure out where I am. It looks like he's definitely out of Chicago, if not out of the country.
I'll probably be on the east side. I'll probably be on the west side. I'll probably be on the north side. You hear me? Oh, look at that. Look at that boy. Hold on, Murder.
So Murder's commenting, I'm going to book my flight out there now. And he's showing him a more detailed view. Saying, yeah. This is where I'm at.
Hold on,
I'll let you
Murder.
know where I'm at.
Yeah, go right there. Fuck going down. Party pump. Smoking all the doties. All the doties.
So let's take a look at the comments, then we're going to move on, and we're basically going to get to Lil Sam doing an interview where he basically addresses all these rumors that he was involved. People were saying he had a big ass booger hanging out of his nose, but he said it was like some kind of, you know, something off of a tree. There was a lot of foliage out there. They're saying he better chill showing the strip. That's the easiest way to find someone. I can already tell what side he on. They're saying I wouldn't be surprised if someone posted his flight itinerary on here. People saying it looks like he's in LA. I thought that looked like it was out of the country, to be honest. Like, I wasn't thinking that was LA, but maybe it is. Maybe it's LA. I don't know, though. It's not entirely clear. Like, that could be out of the country, could be anywhere. People saying scratch that, must have been Von that did the murder because of the tracksuit, but this doesn't necessarily mean anything. People saying, damn, you did your homework so you can turn into detectives tomorrow. People saying no one wants to live in a society with you evil ass dudes. I hope detectives scraping all the info they can from these dudes. All right. Listen, I wonder if anyone can figure out where he's at. People are saying it looks like Vegas. I live here and those buildings are familiar. They're saying, have you ever heard of Rainbow? I see him on TikTok. He's crazy with the geographic knowledge. Saying you guys are too invested in this stuff. This don't concern none of you. Well, they're saying leave the sub then. Facts. You can leave the sub. You can leave the video. People saying Vegas all day. When it started showing the hotels, he lowered the camera. People saying it looked like Arizona. Is it Vegas? They're saying when it started showing the hotels. I'm just having another skim through here on my little detective. My detective. That could be a hotel in the distance. We see mountains.
Hell no. Hey, Lil Willie talking about y'all let Dank brother back on the block. Oh, glow Dank brother.
Look, boy, that's where that. That's where it's at right there.
You know that.
Could be Vegas. Could be some hotels in the distance, man. Let me know in the comments where you think this was. But basically, okay, before we go any further, all right, I just want to kind of remind you of everything that's going on, okay? On one side of this gang war, we've got basically THF. Okay, THF are on one side of this war, THF Bayzoo. They're basically, you know, a very famous group of gangsters, gangster rappers, whatever you want to call it, the Trigger Happy family. I did a whole 3-hour plus video about them on my main channel. If you want to learn more about the Trigger Happy family, Bayzoo, everybody that was involved, these guys low-key were providing some muscle for Lil Durk and OTF. Now, on the other side, there's kind of like an amalgamation of different gangs. And essentially, it's like Lil Zay Osama is kind of involved in this, but there's basically like individual people that are kind of like the most known person in every set. Now, hopefully I don't get this wrong, but like based on the research that I've been doing so far and me and my little team have been kind of digging into, is basically on the other side of this beef, you've got THF on one side and they're having this whole beef over the watches and it's kind of devolved into a much more serious thing. Lil Zay Osama is known to rep this crew called 6300. It's not 63rd. It's not the same as FBG Ducks thing. It's a whole different thing. 6300. It's their block. That's where they're from. from. Now, there's a group called DMG, and this is the group that's basically, you know, headed, I don't want to say headed up, obviously he's passed away now, but Lil Deuce was basically kind of the most famous face. Lil Deuce, aka Scoom, not Lil Scoom, but DMG Scoom. He was basically the most famous face from this DMG crew. Now, they're tapped in with a group called BTBG, who obviously, you know, is a group that they kind of refer to themselves as Bloods. They're not like California Bloods, but this is basically Kill Bill's crew. And we talked in the last video about Kill Bill. You know, they're saying that he might have 12 bodies. They're saying that him and Lil Deuce had over 20 bodies between them. And then you've got BVC, which is Lil Sam's crew. Lil Sam, who we just saw. All four of these groups, 6300, DMG, BTBG, and BVC. I know it's a lot of letters, okay? It's getting confusing. They're kind of all interconnected, intertwined, okay? But apparently, according to some people, BVC has kind of recently broken away, and now they're kind of low-key not seeing eye to eye with 6300, DMG, and BTBG, but they're still beefing with THF, okay? So they're kind of on the peripherals, not really seeing eye to eye with this whole amalgamation of gangs that are all having a problem with THF. So they're still having issues with THF, but they're not really seeing eye to eye with everybody else. Now, if you watch the video that I did on this situation yesterday, okay, you'll know, all right? You'll obviously know the story, okay? At some point around 2023, I believe that was when it was. Obviously, Lil Zay Osama's watches go missing, and we've seen tons of interviews. We've seen, you know, Zay come out of the feds and talk about, you know, people died over his watches, and, you know, this THF TP hit. People are saying it had something to do with this, right? And basically, as I saw in the last video, okay, he basically, Lil Zay Osama, and I didn't even know this right here, okay, but basically, okay, so I showed you in the last video, right? This gets so confusing. Lil Deuce was in jail. THF member G Baby ends up on the deck at jail, okay? And I keep wanting to say Scoom, but I want to say Lil Deuce just for clarity, okay? Lil Deuce basically is on the phone with Zay Osama, and he says, yo, THF member G Baby just touched down. What should I do? Now, I'm gonna come clean here, okay? In my last video, Lil Deuce says in the interview, Zay said, kill him, okay? Now, call me crazy, okay? Call me uninformed. I just took that at face value. I was under the assumption that if you say, if somebody says, yo, kill him, you mean kill him. But apparently, according to the comments, and I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna duck fade. I'll admit, I'll throw my hands up and admit that I was wrong. Apparently, that's not what it means. All right, so look at this. This was the video that I did. I'm watching the Akash Singh situation there in the sidelines. If you see that all that stuff going on, there's a whole bunch of drama. But basically, okay, he said kill him. Apparently, that means fight him. Okay, apparently that means beat him up. All right, there were comments that says, lol, when he says kill him, he's talking about beat him up, not actually kill him while in jail. I took kill him at face value, but apparently that means beat him up, all right? He said he means F him up, not kill him, bro. He said kill him, but apparently that's not what it means. He's talking about beating him, not killing him. So look, he meant fighting. That's what they say in the county jail, is what it is. I'll play you the clip. Live to defend his statements, but this is hot. You're talking hot, man. What? So I was saying, yo, you talking crazy, saying kill him. Said G Baby's over here. I'm on the wing with G Baby. What you want me to do?
Hey, you know what to kill him, mama.
He said, you know what to do, kill him. He said, I took that at face value. I thought he meant kill him. Now, we're seeing in this Lil Zay Osama lyrics, okay, from 2023, he's talking about this incident. He said, told phone him in the county, they stole them watches, catch him, stomp him. All right, so I mean, he was acting like 5 people died over the watches. When I heard kill him, I thought kill him meant kill him. Apparently kill him means beat him up. That's new to me. I'll remember that for future reference, okay? But basically, they're saying Lil Zay told him to stomp them out, told him to beat him up. Now, obviously, it's all well and good saying, no, he didn't mean kill him. When he said kill him, he didn't mean kill him. He meant beat him up. Okay, that's cool. But then before you know it, okay, people are actually getting killed. And look, I won't show you the footage, but you know, unfortunately, this was the situation where THF TP lost his life and he was shot in front of his daughter on the street. There is footage of this hit going down. I'm not going to show it to you here. It's all over Reddit if you want to go and look at that and just have an understanding of just how dark this situation got. But basically, you know, this is the story. It says, man slain in front of daughter working on school project about West Side restaurant. The brutal attack happened at 6:40 p.m. Wednesday as Terrence Pearson, who's THF TP, Terrence Pearson TP, Walked along a sidewalk with his girlfriend, daughter, and another young relative after leaving the TNT rooftop restaurant on 5405 West Madison Avenue. 29-year-old man was gunned down in front of his daughter Wednesday evening outside of a West Side restaurant where she works on a school project about black-owned businesses, according to Chicago police. The brutal attack happened at 6:40 p.m. right after Terrence Pearson and his girlfriend and his daughter and another young relative left the TNT restaurant. You already knew that. A white Nissan pulled up alongside them and gunmen jumped out and fired at Pearson at least 25 times, according to a police report obtained by the Sun-Times. So apparently in jail, kill them means beat them up, but on the streets, people are getting shot at 25 times and killed. So it sounded like somebody told somebody to kill him and somebody got killed. I'm trying to make light of the situation, but that is what it is, right? It says the assailants got back into the Nissan, made a U-turn and sped off down Madison, leaving Pearson lying on the sidewalk. His daughter's pink poster and art supplies tangled amongst bullet fragments, blood spatter, and Pearson's wallet and key fob, the report said. Pearson died about an hour later at Loyola University Medical Center in Maywood. An autopsy Thursday determined that Pearson died of multiple gunshot wounds and his death was ruled a homicide, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. No one else was injured. Pearson was visiting the restaurant because his daughter was interviewing its owner for a school project on black-owned businesses. So I feel like these little details just make you realize how messed up this is. Like, they killed the guy in front of his daughter, and he was only over there because his daughter was doing a school report on black-owned businesses. And that's how he ends up getting caught by the ops. I mean, this is just so sad. It's just super, super sad, all right? And now we're knowing that this is a targeted incident, all right? And basically, after this, apparently there is get back, okay? And basically, a few weeks later, 2 people are killed in another shooting, and one of them is confirmed to be a BVC member that's named Man, all right? So this goes down. Here's the news report.
We do have breaking news to tell you about. Police are investigating a double homicide on the South Side. That's a scene this afternoon in the 6800 block of South State Street. It's near the Dan Ryan. Police say 2 unknown suspects fired at the victims from a car. The victim's car then crashed into a wall. 2 men, aged 30 and 22, died at the University of Chicago hospitals. Police say the shooters drove off in a silver vehicle and are not in custody.
So people are saying that this was revenge or this was a response. Now, okay, so look, THF members would immediately kind of take credit for this, okay, and they would basically post a picture of the dead bodies still in the vehicle along with a pretty disturbing caption. Now, I can't show you the picture. It is very messed up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of be careful about this. Hang on. All right, I'm going to be very, very, very careful on what I show you here, okay? And this is messed up, what I'm about to show you, but you're not going to see anything gruesome. But okay, I'll just show you, okay? I've cropped it out of this image. You can't actually see the body. You can't see anything, but obviously, if I scrolled up the page, you would see it. THF members posted this, okay, with a very disturbing caption because of the way that the person was, all right? That's all I'll say, okay? Now, let me take that off screen and then show you the rest of this post. Okay, so this post where that image was posted as a comment, it basically says here, TP, THF, killers might already be dead. At least that's what Lil Law claims on his songs. THF celebrated when Man, BVC, and Stony Rich from Ducktown got killed in that drive-by shooting. They're both matching the heights of the shooters in the TP video, in my opinion. Do you think it was them? And they've got the pictures of the individuals here. And then that is the TP image, which I was not supposed to show you. That's annoying. So in the comments, you're kind of seeing people kind of debating on this. They're saying Kymian was posting Man after he died, saying your contribution to the nation didn't go unnoticed. A bunch of Mellyway members followed him, so he had to be one of the shooters. People saying possibly Man was possibly a send-off by BVC Von and Lil Zay, who most definitely set that up. People are saying, I thought BTBG and DMG killed TP, and this is a year ago, right? So people have been trying to dig into this for over a year on Chiracology, and I'll be honest, I'm late to the party. I'm just waking up to all this information. So before everybody wants to call me the feds, I've got the whole case files of excellent police work on Chiracology, okay? So for all you Chiracologists that like to hate on me, and I've got this lined up. I'm going to react to this at some point soon, but we're not talking about that right now. But basically, they're saying BVC were clicked up with BTBG and DMG, but then obviously we're hearing later on that, you know, BVC aren't on good terms with everybody. And so what I want to do is I want to show you the next part without showing you the body. Hang on. All right, this is commentary underneath that image, which obviously I can't show you. But it says, again, this is speculation. I don't know if it was them for sure, but BVC already confirmed that blood was spilled for Zay's chains. At first, I heard that the people from out west that are close with Zay did it, but by the looks of it, I think BVC, who are close with Zay, did it. Most likely out west people gave the low. I really doubt BVC was spinning randomly out west, all masked up with a chopper. Stony Rich had blood ties with BVC. I think Man Man was his cousin. I remember being clowned for saying from the start that Zay's homies did it. I'm pretty sure it should be confirmed for everyone now. I don't know what more proof you want. Now, whether the DOD or THF did it, they are clicked up. DOD and Blackgate and THF are all clicked up. A DOD member died hours after Man Man and Stony Rich, but CPUD believes it was a robbery gone wrong. They even arrested someone for it. Lil Terry family and homies are saying the same. They're saying Rudeville is a grimy hood. So this is just getting more and more complicated, okay? There's more different gangs that they're saying are responsible. THF's name are being in the mix. It's just, yeah. People are saying, I posted a zoomed in version of the video when TP was killed. That is definitely them. Yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad. So they're basically saying that this was Get Back, right? They're saying that, you know, this Man character, not character, but, you know, this Man individual, all right, may well have had something to do with what happened to THF TP, and this was a response, okay? So that image of the body in the car that I can't fully show you is allegedly being posted by THF members, basically immediately dissing and being very disrespectful. Now, after this, okay, a legendary rapper from THF Lil Law, all right, what happened to the other Lil Law? You got to ask them. Famously, all right, he had all these famous, and I rock with THF Lil Law. His music's hard, right? He always talking about, they're trying to say I did murders on Reddit. Yes, they are, okay? And you guys need to stay out of the way, all right? But anyway, he released this track, McNuggets, okay? And this obviously, I believe, is, you know, this is like a sly homage to, you know, YBC Dull, and, you know, he was doing all this McNuggets, McButtons, and all this stuff, man. You know, it's a very disrespectful song. He references McDonald's. He says, we could be at McDonald's. I'm gonna leave someone's brains on the McNuggets. So me and Zoo hit that lick, and since we ain't ran out of money, he's mentioning Bayzoo, but obviously there's basically these lyrics, and they're not necessarily accurate on genius.com, but I'm just showing you this for reference. But what he actually says is, long live Two Pistol, N-word that killed him, and I can't even talk about it. I'm riding with Two Pistols, got the slickers behind me. I'll do 1,000. And basically what people think is that this is basically him rapping about THF TP's killer being dead. Okay, long live Two Pistol. TP, obviously his initials are TP, but they're also saying that he stands for Two Pistol. Okay, and basically he can't even talk about it, but he's saying long live him, dude that killed him, all right, is dead, and I can't even talk about it. So a lot of people are saying that this is basically internal confirmation that this was indeed Get Back for what happened to THF-TP. Now, after this, okay, we end up seeing members from BVC, okay, BVC Von, basically calling THF members thieves, and he mentions getting back in blood for every diamond that was stolen from Lil Zay, and perhaps other members that have been robbed. So look, I'll show you these posts right here. I've got in my doc. And this is basically, yeah, Von BVC. He's posting this. I can't, let me make this a bit bigger. Hang on. He's saying, here go another BAP rapper, y'all. They can't be stopped. Ain't stuff get took. Y'all broke ass stole it. Now it's blood everywhere. Free the biggest, okay? And this is basically THFG, baby, and he's just saying, you guys are thieves, you stole stuff, and now there's blood everywhere. For stealing them watches, you basically got everyone killed. That's what he's suggesting. Okay, and then there's another post that he makes. He says, this ain't Africa, bitch, we getting blood for every diamond. So he's kind of referencing blood diamonds from Africa. If you've seen the DiCaprio film Blood Diamond, he's kind of making a slick double entendre. He's saying, this ain't Africa, we're getting blood for every diamond. Every diamond you took, we're spilling blood. Okay. Now, as time goes on, it seems like THF and their affiliates, they apparently keep clapping back. Very sly, very slick, basically kind of rubbing it in Zay's face about stealing the watches. This is a post that went up. It said, they say we way too slimy. I'm into it with Ziggy at Lil Zay Osama. I'm rocking his diamonds. Ain't these your diamonds, little bro? And I believe these are the watches that were stolen, right? There's a bust down Cartier and a bust down Rolex. There's been other posts that were made where people were saying, yeah, the watches are still around. But this is pretty disrespectful, right? Like, really? Like, you really popping out with the watches? Like, come on, man. That is just such a bad look. Okay. Now, after this, okay, fresh out of prison, fresh out the feds, obviously Lil Zay Osama famously went to the feds over a gun with a switch that was left in the back of an Uber in New York, caught federal charges. Okay, Lil Zay Osama would openly claim that Man Man from BVC was indeed one of the shooters that got THF TP and killed him, and said that that was the watch-related get back. So we've heard Lil Zay talking about 5 people died over the watches. Okay, I don't know whether that means he's necessarily saying... He said 5 people lost their lives. He's not saying that 5 people... I feel like he's saying that, look, 5 people total died, and that includes some of his guys, all right? And that includes Man Man, who passed away. He basically is teasing new music. He posted this. People are saying, Man Man, he from the one, he got that get back for that watch, FTP. So they're basically saying openly, yeah, Man Man killed TP, and he did it for the watches, okay? This is crazy. This is federal, all right? Don't come around calling me the feds. I didn't make this post. I didn't tell nobody to post up talking about, yeah, Man Man got that get, but you, what do you mean you got that get back for that watch, FTP? What you, and they're gonna call me the feds. They're gonna say they're gonna say I'm getting people in trouble. Oh, Trap Law Ross is getting people in. No. Man Man, he from the one, he got that get back for that watch, FTP, right? That's the way you guys are putting it across. So that is actually insane. But anyway, okay. Unfortunately, as time goes on, okay, a few months after this post is going around, Lil Deuce, Lil Deuce from DMG, okay, aka Scoom, all right, aka DMG Scoom, he basically loses his life, and members from Lil Zay Osama's crew, they basically say that it's up with BVC, and BVC are now officially ops with Lil Zay 6300, Lil Deuce's DMG, and Kill Bill's BTBG, because basically Lil Deuce and Kill Bill from BTBG were so close. And they're basically saying that this was like a betrayal of, they were cool with BVC, but essentially everything fell apart, right? And what's interesting here, it says this was Big Folks 6300 after DMG Lil Deuce died. I think BVC killed Deuce and BVC killed Zoo in retaliation for BVC Man Man. So what's really confusing now, right, is you've basically got BVC, they're killing an ally who was allegedly, like, they were cool with, but then they're also killing Bayzoo as retaliation for killing Man Man, and it's all getting very confusing. And what we're going to see in a minute, you're thinking, why would they kill Lil Deuce? Well, what they're saying in the comments under this is that they're actually saying that Lil Deuce ended up backdooring a member from BVC named Vontae all the way back in 2020, and that's come out, and then they've gone and got their retaliation against him. So let's hear this, and I'll show you the comments.
Hey, shit finna stop this what's going on, boy, on my mama. I ain't getting off live shit, boy. Tell you. I'm gonna kill their ass, boy. I want the whole world to know it's on with them. BDA and BVC is on with them. Them is my ops, Big Folks ops personally. You get caught with them, liking a picture, taking a picture, comment on something, I'm on your ass too. So when I see you, don't be looking surprised why I snatched off on your ass, why I snatched your wig off, popped you in your face, took your J, whatever. That's why. I better not catch y'all under no pictures no more, no comments, any of that. Try me, call my bluff, I dare you. On that truth. On my son, I'm coming out to every motherfucker, I promise you, nigga. So y'all better hope they get me.
So they're saying that it's up, it's war with them, right? And so after this, basically people are saying, OP, if you wonder, DMG Lil Deuce killed BVC Vontae in 2020. He backdoored him, but they only found out about it in 2025. And they're saying that's how the beef started. Now, people are basically saying, look, this is who killed Lil Deuce. We don't know. Okay, I'm not going to say, I don't know 100% sure, okay? People are saying, what kind of op triangle is this? They're all claiming each other's work and dissing on behalf of people they all also trying to kill, and who's trying to kill them. And they're saying Lil Zay dropped a bag on THF for the watches. BVC Man Man collected it. That's how BVC and THF got into it. BVC Vontae was backdoored by Deuce in 2020, but they only found out about it in 2025. People saying, how you know they just found out? I don't know. They're saying BBC would probably do that to Deuce because because of their link to 600. 600 already got low-key smoke with THF, and THF still caught close to O Block. 600 wouldn't care if BVC killed Zoo. People saying 600 don't got nothing to do with nothing. If anything, BVC killed Deuce for dissing Man Man. And they're saying, why is Deuce dissing Man Man? They're saying THF killed Lil Deuce. Okay, it's all getting very confusing now, all right? But basically, they're saying that Lil Deuce backdoored somebody from BVC way back in the day. All right, people only just found out about it recently, and then they killed him. Now, that brings us all the way up to basically literally today, okay? Shout out to Corporate Cartel Media because he just got everything straight, okay? He got an interview with Lil Sam from BVC. and he just asked him straight up, were you involved in the Bayzoo shooting? So this whole video, this whole thing has come full circle now, and we're now going to go back to Lil Sam from BVC, who's going to address the rumors that he was the man in the grey Nike tech that shot Bayzoo, okay? You see what I did there? I brought it all back full circle so you know all the history. Let's go.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, you know, they say they got you in Reddit. They say you did some bullshit. They got on the plane and was spending reward money, bro. Like, how you feel about them? You know, putting you in the mix like that?
I don't know nothing about that, bro. Next question, brother.
For sure. Okay.
I mean, come on, man. Like, you know something about it. I feel like you guys kind of knew you were playing the media. Arguably, I don't feel like you could say it was a complete accident, but it's like I feel like a lot of guys, they kind of pop out when somebody famous gets hurt or something crazy is going down, and some people they kind of, I'm not in a disrespectful way, but they want to be part of what's going. They want to be part of the conversation, and he definitely was a big part of the conversation. You know, I made videos about it. Like it was looking like he definitely had things to say about the situation, and he was live when, you know, soon after the situation happened. But he keeping it street, and fair play to him. Okay. Bear in mind, I just said everybody's getting federal, giving up all the goods, talking about who killed who on Instagram. So fair play to Lil Sam. He keeping it street. He's saying, no, next question, I ain't answering none of that. That's fair play.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, but being outside, even them putting them allegations on you, like, you just look at it as just internet shit, you know what I'm saying? You ain't worried about being in the trenches with them putting those allegations on you. That's what I'm saying.
Just internet shit. Don't pay no attention to that shit, you know?
Yeah.
And they pay attention to that shit, you know? They guilty, you know? We don't know nothing about none of that shit, you know? We chilling. We don't like doing the same shit. That shit don't stop nothing.
Yeah.
So he's saying ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. That's just internet stuff, and that's fair play. Okay, that's keeping it street code. All right, that's fair enough. We'll give him his props for that. All right, not everyone abides by the street code, but if you do, you do, and that's fair. Okay. Now, ironically, right, later on in the interview, a member of BVC joins in the interview. He hops on camera, and what is he wearing? It's the grey Nike Tech tracksuit. You guys know what you're doing, man. You going viral? What? What? That grey Nike Tech tracksuit just popped out of nowhere, bro. We were looking, whoever was wearing that tracksuit, we was looking for you, man, and you popped out.
Hey, you a man earlier. You seen earlier was like, look, man, this shit real.
Yeah, my brother, R.I.P. Beu, man, you know?
Know that.
He's really from the trenches, you feel me? So, yeah, we grew up the same way. You know how that shit go, man. And being brother now, folks, you know? We was punching each other up as a kid, doing what we do, running through these blocks. We can run through that block all the way to 10 blocks down. You feel me? Every cut. This Wooder right here, though. Real, you feel me? Real rack number.
Oh no, they're not the watches. Are they? Those aren't the same watches. Nah.
So, real, you feel me? Real rack number.
It's like there's a similar watch. For a second, I'm like, wait, no, that wouldn't make. Why would they have to? All right, but they wearing two Cartiers. Is one bust down, one plain Jane? I'm a watch guy, so I'm always interested. Any rapper, any demon that pops out with a watch, I'm always interested, man. You see me pricing up the watches in the Lil Jeff video, anyway.
That's one thing you see about us now. You ain't gonna see no all busters with us, man. All here busters.
Yeah. So,
now, obviously, I already told you about these rumors on Reddit that, you know, that Lil Deuce, DMG Scoom had allegedly backdoored somebody. Now they're saying it's Lil Sam's brother, man. They're saying Vontae died while he was in jail. This is the backdooring that allegedly led to BVC falling out with DMG. Okay, so now we're gonna get into that. So we getting some backstory.
with the phone, like what you used to be shit over.
You gotta understand, my brother had just died while I was in jail. My granny died while I was in jail, and my little brother Vontae died while I was in jail. So, you know, my mind was on a whole nother type of time, you know?
Right. So you didn't.
So obviously, like, that's just an interesting little detail, right? He's saying that his brother Vontae, and I'm pretty sure that's who they said on Reddit, was the person who got backdoored by Lil Deuce, right? Now, Lil Sam would go on to basically deny the rumors that the tension between BVC and Lil Deuce's DMG started because something was stolen. Now, that kind of ain't, that's not really something that I've seen said, so he's kind of putting something to rest there that maybe wasn't necessarily, you know, super debated. But obviously, I would have liked to have heard more questions about maybe his brother, but that's obviously a hot question. I'm sure he wouldn't be wanting to answer anything like that. But like I say, he did deny these rumors about the beef being started over because other things being stolen between BVC and DMG.
So let me ask you this, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this some other bullshit. that's going on with y'all, like with the case with Kill Bill. What I asked him, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the chain situation. You know what I'm saying? Like they said y'all sold it. They said y'all sold Lil Deuce chain, and that's the reason why y'all fell out. But when I asked Lil Deuce, he said something about a pipe or something got took, and he said they killing all the snakes and rats. And he was saying like that was in response to me asking him why did he say.
Look, you just answered your own question. If another man told you that, and he tell you something else, and he can't even listen to certain. You know? Right. I don't even listen to that shit. I ain't gonna even speak on it, you feel me? I don't even like speaking on niggas speaking on certain shit, folks. That's what niggas be wanting. That's what you on interviews and do and say my name for me to respond.
So this is the ironic thing, right? They're saying that Kill Bill and Deuce was on interviews talking about chains being stolen, things being stolen, whatever. When really we're seeing all these comments on Reddit, it's like it's unconfirmed, but they're saying no, it was actually a backdooring. Now we're finding out that this is Lil Sam's brother that was allegedly backdoored, right? He's not wanting to talk about that, but he is saying, well, it ain't got nothing to do with the chain. He ain't confirming what it's about, but he's saying, bro, the chain thing, it's dead.
So they can turn up, you know, because you don't see me too much on interviews. Unless I'm gonna come outside or something.
Yeah. But I'm saying with Lil Deuce, when I interviewed him, I had asked him about like the fans had screenshotted his or screen recorded his live, and he was like, I guess they was putting RIP Man up in there, and basically he said Man, and I asked him like why he say that, because you know Zay put him in the song too. You get what I'm saying? And I was asking him that, and basically that's what his response was. So he had something like you know y'all fell out with him, I guess, about whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Fuck BMG. I ain't gonna lie. That's what it is. Ain't no shit code doing all that side talking all that BMG thing.
Man, you know what's crazy though, bro? Cause like I say, man, y'all, it seemed like y'all was close. I seen you on an interview on 16 with, you know what I mean?
But you know a lot of shit though. Like you see, we don't speak on nothing. Like we like run around the trenches and talk and say certain shit. A lot of shit that's going on right now, cause niggas ran their mouth. You know, you don't see us on there talking about doing certain shit. You hear niggas playing with Lil Bro them name, and now you see trolling right back.
So after this, right, Lil Sam would basically be asked how he felt about Lil Zay putting BDC Man's name in a song and basically identifying him as one of the alleged shooters. Now, as I said, all right, Lil Sam is trying to keep it street in this interview. He ain't trying to talk too much. He ain't trying to give too much away. And basically, I feel like it is actually an interesting question. It's like, okay, you keeping it very street, but you got Lil Zay over here talking all types of hot. He's doing Instagram posts. He's rapping in songs. He's saying who killed who. Like, yeah, he's not here anymore, but it's like, this is a guy from your crew that was crashing out for some watches. Like, what are your thoughts on that, basically? And he kind of gives a brief opinion.
So how did y'all feel about that when his name got put in that song? Y'all felt that was like too much? That was like, you know, Police or whatever, like him put, you know, get his name put in that song, or even though he had passed away, I think.
I ain't gonna lie, this the only thing I'm speaking on about this one, you know, Jay. I don't put Lil Bro name in nothing, you know. Cause we paint pictures and shit, you know, we ain't doing none of that shit. Keep Lil Bro name out, we ain't speaking on nothing.
No, for sure, bro. So, can you speak about Shorty? Like, who was that to you? That was your family or just your little homie?
So he basically is saying, right, he's like, bruh, you shouldn't be doing all that talking now. It's ironic that he's doing an interview where he's saying people shouldn't be talking on things, but he is navigating the interview in the best way to the code that he wants to live by. So that's big respect to him. But obviously, Corporate Cartel follows up with another question. He's saying, well, who was that to you? You know, who was Man to you? Like, what was the relationship there?
Yeah, man.
That's our baby brother. That's our baby brother, like baby brother.
Everybody be capped for. I ain't gonna lie.
He from right here.
I ain't gonna lie. Phone him. My little shorty didn't even know that. So you put him in the song, he don't even know you.
So he's trying to say Lil Zay didn't even know him like that. You putting him in a song, you claiming that he was crashing out for watches and on your behalf, but you ain't even know him like that. That's what he's saying.
Somebody got back for some watches, dude. Get your
like Lil Bro from right here. Right, for real, every day.
Watches, gang.
You see what he lost his life at right here. Monte, right here. Lil Bro, you know, Lil Bro got his own life, his own crowds. He was thugging for real.
Yeah.
So they were saying he was thugging. He was really about it. He was doing his thing, and he passed away right here. This is his block, man. So that's really sad. But basically, Lil Sam would basically go on to tell a story about how Lil Zay's brother, Big Folks, allegedly was, you know, under some pressure in prison, right? And he would also mention fighting one of THF's allies from Face World while locked up. And it really just goes to show you just how much of this beef is kind of, you know, circulating on the streets and then continuing in the prison yards. We already saw that footage of Lil Deuce allegedly pressing THF Baby when he was told to kill or apparently beat up. Apparently that's what it means now. G Baby, man. And, you know, Lil Sam's basically going to tell more stories about how all of this stuff is just, you know, continuing to all these beefs. They go on the streets, people get killed, and they keep going in the jailhouse, man.
Oh, yeah, that shit crazy. So yeah, so big folks like that's Zay brother. He was like putting that out there too, like in the post, like basically saying like, yeah, he got back for the watches, but then you see him dissing Shorty too. So it's like, and I seen you getting at big folks, like you saying like y'all was in the county or something together and he want to fight. Like, what was that situation about? Like,
Yo, that's crazy. Nah, it was just I was just coming back from the county, like I was just telling you, off my 6 at 85. I withdrew my plea, came back to the county to make them fix my shit to 6 at 30. So now they send me Division 2. So I'm like, they the fuck up the paperwork. When I just left, I'm in max, you feel me? So I'm over here, I'm being on my best behavior, chilling though, you know, doing me. Motherfucker come to me, they just chase fool out there. They just chase big folks out there. You lying. Now nigga got me moved from over there. I moved right on the deck. 350. I moved right out the deck. I moved right off the deck. They whatever they did that to big folks on, whatever, you know. So now I'm on the phone. The little shorty from face. I ain't gonna lie. I see him like, yeah, this shorty. Now I come on deck. I see the shorty from face. We're over there. I tell big folks like, what you want me to do with him? He we gonna listen for money. Now Chief, I need you over here. I'm like, cool. I'm like in my head like I'm finna kill his ass anyway. Bro, now I'm on the phone.
So now, all right, he said he's finna kill him too, and he means fight. All right, now we know.
I ain't gonna lie, shorty face where I walked up on me. Ain't you with dude? Ain't you with that shit? Ooh, what? Hey, bet, let me call you right back. Peep, drag him to the washroom, all type of shit, type of shit. What I had going on, moved and shit, you know, all over that shit. But they were saying though, like, you know, I was like, wait till the video come out or something. I don't know if they ain't see folks run.
So he's basically saying, right, even though now at this point in time, BVC is now falling out with DMG, they were still frontlining against anybody that even had affiliation with THF, right? They're saying this crew Face World, they kind of affiliated with THF, and he was still getting cracking and trying to kill or fight people from crews that was allied with THF.
Running off no deck doing no shit like that, but Jay.
Yeah. But you just was trolling him when you put that in that post, because you know that
LeBron ran off that bitch on bro. Shorty, little as hell the broomstick. I took the broomstick and whooped him with it.
Yeah, nah. So with big folks, with your relationship with him, like, what's your relationship with him? That's just Zay brother, or was y'all cool?
I don't even want to speak on him, folks. On Jay, you know? I ain't gonna.
So he basically says that he doesn't want to speak on Zay's brother, and they ask him about Zay's watches, and once again, they don't want to talk on that. They're keeping it strict.
So let me ask you this then, bro. You know, you don't want to
be a lot of police going on right now, like, you feel me, like, with life right now, so I don't even want to speak on certain shit, like, you know, that's weird out here right now.
Yeah. So little dude's lost his life going to go register for a gun offender or whatever, and I seen y'all trolling him. Y'all used to be cool at a point. Was the reason you was trolling him because behind them saying the shit about man, or like what was your reason behind that, or is it just like keep speaking on that? What's up, peace, brother?
You know, it's like I ain't looking at no video. I don't even know. I ain't watch what happened to him. Did nothing. I ain't did none of that. You feel me? I just know I'm play with Lil Bro now. You feel me? So we troll, play with Lil Bro now. That's how shit goes, you know.
Yeah. And what they was calling you behind that? Because I seen
that's what really got big folks treated. You know, that's what really got him treated. You jump just. That's when we got something going on. Now y'all want to get in it. Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. It seemed like over Lil Zay watches, it seemed like a whole bunch of shit happened. Well, based on what we see going on the internet. You get what I'm saying? That's what we see was going on. But it seemed like everybody splitting up too behind that too. Like, would you say them watches caused the whole uproar in the city, or you don't really? Nah.
We don't know nothing about them watches.
Oh, you don't know nothing about that shit?
Nothing about them watches.
For sure. Well, you know, he put it out there. You know, he put it out there on No Jumper, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big ass platform. So everybody been like this. But I get it though. You don't know nothing about it. I ain't too good.
Yeah, man. Ain't nothing about them watches, man. You know, we just talking, doing us, being, you know, just being.
So he's saying we ain't know nothing about that watches. He ain't really gonna say why they were dissing Lil Deuce after he died. He's keeping it all in the streets. Okay, so for all the street cats that want to diss people for self-snitching, hey, Lil Sam's keeping it very, very street. He's sticking to the code. He's not talking. He's keeping tight-lipped. So fair play to him, respect to him, all right? He is in an interview, but he's directing the interview the way he wants. And look, for anybody that says, oh, you shouldn't do interview, you can do an interview if you're a street guy. It's up to you what you say. You ain't got to say anything. You could make up a bunch of stuff. You could just make up weave a whole story. You know what I'm saying? You could spin them like, not, we ain't even going to talk about Atlanta, but yeah. Anyway, okay, so later on, as a little bit of time goes on, okay, corporate cartel media would even jokingly point out that they were clearly trolling by wearing this the grey night tech during the interview, man. It's like, well, come on, man. We know what that grey night tech symbolizes, man. Come on.
Hey, he trolling with the Nike tech. You know how I told you how they put the Nike tech on you. They put that on him. You know what I'm saying? He gonna come on. How you go this bitch trolling? Oh, you off the chain.
Hell no, nothing about that.
Nah. I'm just saying because
They know about that. Come on, they know about that.
I think that's what y'all got going on.
Yeah, nah. We ain't doing no. Now you gotta understand. Look, I stay with a button, so shit, how they gonna play it?
Ah, man. Stay with a button, man. I got to blur the button now. Now I got to blur the button, man. You guys are wilding out. You really pulled the button out in the interview. Gosh darn it. All right. We're going to blur the button. I'm making a note. I'm going to blur the button. Can't have your button. I don't even know what the gun laws are in Chicago, whether or not you can have that. You definitely can't have a button anywhere, basically. That's just not, no.
Hey, look, you know it be like this, though, like, shit, we just, them our Nike Techs we wear, like, black.
Yeah, everybody got that. Everybody got that.
Why would you want to put on a red Nike Tech or you gonna put on a baby blue? You gonna see a black one or a gray one? You feel me? You gonna see the whole rack in that shit, bro.
Yeah, that's what they were saying too. Everybody got that shit. So why did they just throw you in on the red?
NBA YoungBoy had that shit on. They doing all types of shit, bro. You know? They ain't thinking about them niggas.
Yeah, NBA YoungBoy had the Nike Tech, but like, he ain't have that Nike Tech on that day in that hood and from that area with this beef going on, man. Come on, man. So anyway, all right, Lil Sam would basically open up a little bit later on in this interview, okay? It's a great interview. Go and watch the whole thing if you want to go and check it out. Shout out to Corporate Cartel Media. But he would basically touch on the fact that basically he just says, look, he doesn't beef with anyone unless shots have been fired with him. And I feel like he's not calling people out. He's not dissing people that have talked on him. He is keeping it very real, and he's just saying, look, unless you fired shots at me, we ain't beefing.
Yeah, ain't nobody on shit, man. Yeah. That's how you gotta do. Some of you cut off, man. I ain't into it with a lot of them. If I ain't never heard your fire, I ain't into it with you. Yeah. That's what you gotta understand. If your gun ain't never went off my way or nothing, I ain't into it with you, man. Yeah. I ain't never heard your fire. That's some new shit I got from the drop.
Oh, this a brand new tag.
You funny as hell. It's brand new. You just took the tag off there. The push and piece.
He didn't just take the tag off the Nike Tech.
This shit I got from the drop.
Oh, this a brand new tag.
You funny.
You bought that tech. I feel like you guys went and bought 5 or 6 of those techs knowing, well, as soon as you saw that footage. Anyway, all right, this is the last thing, okay, I'm going to touch on and I'm going to wrap it up. He basically gave his take on the whole push and peace idea, and he says, look, push and peace at this point is impossible. Too many people have died behind the wall. And we all want to push peace. We all want the violence to stop in Chicago. But, bruh, when you know there's everything that's been going on behind the scenes with these guys, ain't no pushing peace.
Like you got to understand like this. Pushing peace like me when the motherfuckers that your homies and shit died behind that shit. Hell, no, ain't no peace, pushing peace behind that shit. But you got to understand, it's pushing peace to us. Like, yeah, it's pushing peace like stay out my way, stay out my lane. Get out my, don't, just stay out my lane, stay out my way, you know? Because I always pushing peace to the world, to the net, everything, you feel? Yeah. It's just so police, I ain't pushing nothing but peace.
No, for sure.
We ain't.
So look, he's saying everything's so police, I ain't pushing nothing but peace, but it's kind of too late for all of that, okay? Now look, I'm going to wrap it up there, all right? This story just keeps getting more twisted. I'm finding out more stuff by the day. I did tell you guys in a previous video that I would find out everything that's going on. I've got a whole bunch of documents. I'm digging into it, okay? Basically, there was a big project that I'm so close to finishing on a completely different topic. But this story is crazy, okay? So I'm kind of dual wielding a couple of topics right now. I'm going to finish up this other topic that I know you guys are going to really enjoy on the main channel. You're going to find it very interesting. You're going to be hearing, you're not going to believe, I've been teasing it at the end of videos. You're not going to believe this story that I've got coming. And then basically we're already hard at work putting together, finding all of the facts about this situation, okay? And this is ever developing. Shout out to Corporate Cartel Media. He is I don't know how he's got his finger on the pulse so much, man, but shout out to him, man. I might need to do an interview with Corporate Cartel Media myself because this guy is definitely tapped into what's going on in Chicago, man. We got to pray for Chicago. We got to hope that this war ends. Rest in peace to Bayzoo. Rest in peace to everybody who's passed away in this beef. Lil Deuce, you know, man, even just anybody that had anything to do with anything, man. You know, people are victims of circumstance. They're coming up in some of the most dangerous and treacherous situations known to America, really. Okay, so I always do want to make it clear that I do have sympathy. This isn't sports to me. This isn't just a laugh. This isn't, you know, sometimes I say the word characters, but that's more just a case of like people are being big characters and big personalities in the scene. But these are real people, man. I do want to see the violence stop. And, you know, these are guys coming out of some of the most dark, just like dangerous places in the world. Okay, these, you know, this out west, Chicago is just out of control, man. And so I really do hope the violence stops. I will be keeping track of it. I will be doing a bigger breakdown. And I'm not going to lie, you can call me the feds, but I wouldn't be surprised if the feds are watching along with this, building a case themselves, okay? So for anybody involved in this situation, probably the best advice I could give you is maybe just simmer down, maybe stay out the way, maybe no more if you can help it. Let's lower the temperature in these streets, man, because realistically, It ain't my fault, but the feds, they're not dummies. They're going to be watching all of this stuff. I guarantee you there is a federal caseworker watching all of these interviews, all right? And they're probably making better notes than I'm making, okay? So with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hope you found that useful. I will see you later. Peace.